Oh, makes me itch. What's happening, guys? It's live time. So I just wanted to come on here and talk about HMB. So I'm actually just went on it, and there's a particular reason. What's up with this tank top? It's like my shoulders are crooked or something. So basically, this is my weekly live for those that are new to the channel. And these videos are not to sell or do anything like that. This is basically information. All my videos are just information, discussions with people. And I actually picked up some HMB. My man, Joe from NJU Fitness was going to run HMB, and I've always wanted to run it. What's up, Rob? How's it going, man? I've always wanted to run it, and I ran it in supplements, but I haven't ran it by itself, and I wanted to see the effects. So I got a lot of information on HMB. It's got hit and miss on research. So the research studies are just all mixed all over the place. And what's up, Dino? And just trying to get started here. Let's see here. Let's see this. So basically, with HMB, it's a metabolite of leucine, for those that don't know. There's also other metabolites that come along with leucine, but it's broken down in the muscle cells. So it's actually broken down in the liver and it's broken down in the muscle cells. And what they found is HMB actually is broken down to activate an important protein called mTORC1. So we've heard of mTOR, but this is mTORC1, which is actually the protein that initiates muscle protein synthesis response. So unfortunately, the final studies and conclusions on leucine compared to HMB is that leucine spikes muscle protein synthesis more than HMB will. And that's just the facts. So if supplementing with HMB, that's not the reason why I'm supplementing with, because we should be actually consuming protein all day long. We should be getting our body weight in protein or close to it, 0.75 per pound of body weight to 1 gram or 1.2 grams. Everybody's different on individually. So we should be getting our leucine in for the day. The reason why I chose to supplement and do a run on HMB was I get a lot of questions on it. So I want to have some definitive answers on how it actually affects me personally. And I ran into a couple studies to where it actually reduces creatine kinase in the kidneys and also lactate levels. So that was a big plus for me because I just started back on creatine. And muscle breakdown itself is going to increase creatine kinase. So newbies, beginners are going to have increased creatine kinase levels compared to athletes that have been strength training for a while. And but the fact is we do have a genetic ceiling as well. And I'm a type 1 diabetic. And when you compare the leucine to HMB, like I said, leucine spikes muscle protein synthesis by 25 to 30% above HMB alone. The study's been confirmed, but HMB decreases the amount or the anti-catabolic effect of the muscle breakdown more than leucine does. So being a type 1 diabetic with a metabolic condition, I've always fought with the idea that my sugar's been all over the place, and my genetic ceiling, I've stopped pretty much on muscle growth and stuff like that. All I've been doing lately, because I've hit my genetic ceiling and plus with my circumstances of actually getting bigger without gaining a bunch of fat, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run it, and I'm going to run it for a month. I want to see what happens. I want to see how it affects me personally, especially with the muscle degradation that's involved with training and the metabolic condition that I have, and see if it, can push any changes in my training or my size or anything like that. And that's about it. So I just wanted to see what everybody else was doing here. I'm hoping that Joe hops on because I know he started already. At least I think he did. But I don't know if he's going to get there. What's up, Fabian? What's up, Harry? Um, so the conclusion is HMB does not spike muscle protein synthesis more than leucine, for those that have just jumped on, but it does have an anti-catabolic effect as far as the degradation of muscle protein synthesis. It does decrease that over leucine itself. And to actually get HMB, the amount of HMB to do that, you would literally 3 grams of HMB is equivalent to 20 to 60 grams of leucine. So it's an interesting ingredient. There are 2 forms of HMB as well that I want to talk about. There's HMB, what is it? Calcium salts, which is CA, and then there's HMB FA. The difference between the two is the FA is a free acid. So they're bonded to a free acid or bonded to a calcium salt. The free acid form has been touted as to digest a lot quicker and be removed out of the body a lot quicker. Because what happens with HMB is we absorb it. It doesn't hang around for a long period of time. We'll talk about dosing. We absorb it, the body utilizes it, and it pretty much urinates it out. So the difference is you've got a little bit of a quicker digestion with the free acid form and elimination with the free acid form than you do with the calcium salt form, the CA form. I'm taking the CA form because it's cheaper. And I'm not taking the 3 gram dose. As far as dosing, the way I'm going to be doing it is I'm going to be doing 1.5 grams before training, 1.5 grams after training, and 1.5 grams with a, what is it? I got a product that I'm going to be reviewing pretty soon. It's a collagen peptide formula from Vintage Muscle. It's like 20 grams per scoop. It's a large dose. I'll review it and let you guys know if I feel anything, but I'm just taking it at the end of the night, whether it's with that or whether it's with a meal. I'm just taking it kind of an hour before I go to bed and see if it has any effects on the muscle growth and everything. So interesting. I wrote up a little bit here on the how leucine and HMB actually activate muscle protein synthesis. So what they do is when both of them activate mTORC1, it stimulates the translation and elongation, which is the path to muscle protein synthesis. So basically, it just creates a muscle protein synthesis response, and then it inhibits autophagy, decreasing protein or cellular degradation. So this is HMB that does that. So when you take leucine, the amount of HMB that is being broken down and degraded as it goes on a cellular level, because leucine is actually absorbed by the liver and also by the muscle cells, by the skeletal muscle. So this is broken down. HMB, not leucine itself, but the byproduct, which is HMB, actually activates mTORC1. And then that's pretty much where the stimulation comes with muscle protein synthesis and the autophagy and the decrease in protein and cellular degradation. So the theory is increasing HMB in your system, in the blood, when you're training and after training is supposed to help with the processes of muscle protein synthesis and the anti-catabolic effects there. So I don't have much to say. I can't jump on. I just got back from walking the dog, and we took her out 10 minutes before I came on. So just keeping it real. Gotta run back in and jump behind the camera and stuff. What's up, James? So I've had good luck with HICA and HMB. So HICA is another byproduct of leucine. But like I said, I've never taken HMB by itself. But we're going to see what it does. I'm going to run this, and I'll let you guys know in a couple weeks, in a month, when I'm done with it, on the dosing protocol that I'm doing, and if it helps with the repair and the growth of muscle at all. Because I'm pounding it out in the gym, and I am trying to get past that genetic ceiling in a natural fashion. I'm not on TRT. I'm not taking anything. I probably should be, but even if the doctor said to get on TRT, I don't know if I'd want to, because then you're stuck on it. I've done some research on it just in case I get to that point. And if they do, I'm going to find out if I can do HCG as well with it, which is going to hopefully allow me to come off of TRT and become normal again, because TRT alone is going to shut down your system and you got to stay on it for life if you don't kind of try to jump back on, have some kind of means to where your body can actually level out at the end or while you're taking it. What does Harry say? On a side note, I tried Sinister and I agree. 1.5 scoops is the best dose. Yeah, man, I love that pre-workout. Today I did a DMHA hitter. So I was talking to my man Ari, and we both got this pre-workout, and we're trying to. I took the hit for him because he's always taking the hit for us, and I took it before him, just kind of let him know if it was legit or not, and it seemed like it was legit. Okay, I took it at 7 o'clock this morning, and brain's still kind of in that cognitive function mode like hours later. Not my favorite thing. I'm on TRT with ACG. Okay. How's that doing, man? Do you feel good on that? JGPT 26. What's up, man? So I'm probably gonna be doing the same thing if I have to be put on TRT at one point. Being a type 1 diabetic, being 54 years old, it's probably something that's going to be down the line. I'm just trying to avoid it. I do take DHEA in the morning. I take progenolone at night. Right now, I'm taking DMAA too, which I'll do a review on that. Oh, yeah, it feels great. Huge boost in energy and motivation. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And that's going to set you up, hopefully, to where the impact of the shutdown isn't as extreme. So, I like that. I like to hear someone else is doing that. I ran into a customer the other day. Oh, Harry, you can put you on TRT, huh? How you feeling on that? Got a lot of guys being put on TRT. Man, life. We got a bunch of stressors. We got our diet. We got all these plastics and everything that are in what we consume, the air and everything. It's kind of crazy. Just so you guys know, I've been a diabetic for over a decade. They did put me on TRT in the beginning because when I went in, I was 200. The doctor looked at me and started asking me why I'm not crying. Super emotional and crying. I felt okay. I just didn't have a lot of energy, didn't have a lot of drive. And they put me on the gel at first, and I didn't feel anything from it. And then they put me on TRT. So I ended up running it for a good few years. And I got tired of going into the doctor's office and the doctor taking my blood and saying, "Oh, you're 700 now. We need to drop your dose. Oh, you're 300 now. We need to up your dose." She had me all over the place. And I got to the point where I was like, screw this. I just started eating more food. I started to take some, herbs, and I'm not high. I'm kind of in the mid range, fluctuating from 4 to 5 now. So you can come off of it. It just takes some time. I did have to do some adjustments at the time, but at the time I was still trying to adjust to the type 1 diabetes as well. And so I was already kind of mentally messed up as far as trying to live life differently. But I've been trying to avoid it. I don't want to go on it if I don't have to. And if I can maintain that 4 to 5 or 4 to 6, I'm good. I read all the studies as far as muscle building. And although you have better motivation, better energy, all this and that, as far as building muscle, the muscle that's built, if you're below, I think they did some studies below 900 or something like that. If you're 900 or below, and that TRT itself, those aren't levels to actually create an anabolic response. But there is the fact that you're driving and pushing and more in the gym. I know the feeling when testosterone is boosted up. I take a lot of different ingredients, and some days it hits me different than others. And in the gym, they just feel stronger. You feel more energetic. You feel more driven and stuff like that, which is going to equate to more muscle gain. The studies confirmed that when they were taking different dosages with people as far as testosterone levels, that now these are just studies. And hey, I'm not a doctor. I'm just telling you guys what I read. That muscle or at the anabolic response for building muscle is 1,000 and above. So that's why guys on steroids, their levels are over that 1,000 mark there, and that's how they're able to create such an anabolic response for muscle gain. Let's say better. Harry says he's got better, more energy, mental state, not depressed anymore. Also, I lost some weight as well. Nice, man. Took about 6 months to even out, and I'm around 650 to 7. That's a good range, man. That is a good range for the past 6 months. Nice. And Harry says, but due to my teen years from my past drug use, but I'm 14 years sober. Congratulations, man. I think I stopped. I got sober at, 19. So I was 15 to 19, Harry. I was just running amok. I still remember a few things, but there's a lot of stuff that are just a blur. It's just a blur. Like, I don't know times or anything like that. But I woke up, put myself into it's called New Beginnings, I think when I was 18 years old, and saw all the homies that were in there that were just tore up. And actually, out of all the guys in there, I got close to a lot of them. I can't say that one of them, there's like 6. So we were in this thing of 6. And I can't say one of them I was able to find. Like, they all kind of disappeared. I remember one guy stayed with us my mom and dad are really cool. So this guy, Rich, he stayed with us for a while, and he just left one night. Like, he was rooming with me, and he just disappeared one night. Never heard from him again. Never knew if he was around. So congratulations, Harry. That's awesome. Do you have info on berberine? Heard of it, but not sure what it is. So berberine. So if you do not have insulin resistance, Fabian, with berberine, then berberine can help with the sensitivity of activating GLUT4 in the cells to draw glucose into the cells. As a type 1, it doesn't do a dang thing for me, but it has shown to work with mostly type 2 diabetics. When they did studies with berberine on normal individuals, the studies did not show that it created any kind of benefits as far as for insulin sensitivity, glucose control, or anything like that on berberine for someone who's healthy. And that's just the studies. I'm sure there's anecdotal reports out there of guys saying that they have benefits and this and that, which I don't know how they can say they have benefits if they're not checking their sugars all the time. So I would really like to see somebody who's a normal individual, doesn't have any underlying conditions, taking berberine and testing their sugars, because that's the only way you can tell. So it's different when you don't have, like myself, a pancreas to put out insulin, and you're taking some of these supplements and you find out the farce, the lies out there, the misinformation. How's that on how some of these glucose disposal agents work, and if they do, because and also ingredients. Like, people will fast and they'll take EAAs, and then they don't realize that leucine from amino acid spikes insulin. So they'll take EAAs or BCAAs during their fasting and say that they're intermittent fasting. The response of the catecholamines, noradrenaline responses, epinephrine responses throughout the day spikes insulin. There's all kinds of things that can spike insulin. So like a lot of misunderstanding on how the body works out there, and we're spending money on a lot of these supplements. Best way, Fabian, the best way to control insulin sensitivity or to keep up insulin sensitivity, honestly, is to control your fats that come in. Make sure that you're not eating a lot of saturated fat. That's just like I did a video on eggs, and some people appreciate it, some people don't. I get down likes on a video where I'm not telling people to actually eat eggs, but I'm showing that this is what I'm eating after my workout. And I get a bunch of down. You guys don't see it, right? I don't get a bunch of them. I just get a few, and I'm like, why did you put a thumbs down on that video? I was just telling you guys what I was doing. It's kind of ridiculous. But it's just like eggs and cholesterol, where everybody's so afraid of eating more than 1, 2, or 3 eggs because they think it elevates cholesterol levels. And studies are out. It does not. Dietary cholesterol is good for you, and it processes and breaks down differently in the body. And it has been shown not to elevate cholesterol levels as to the point to where you're going to have problems. It's saturated fat. It's called bad carbohydrates that actually elevate cholesterol levels. So, Fabian, control your fat intake. I would look at, you can try berberine if you're trying to lose weight, have more cellular energy. You can throw it on, but if you're doing a high fat diet, it's going to pretty much, there's a chance that it's going to counteract the berberine to where you're going to create insulin resistance, and the berberine is just going to be a waste of money. So you want to go to a medium to high level carbohydrate diet, and protein high, of course, and then fats at a medium to low on your diet. That's going to actually promote. That's the way I stay lean, pretty much. People think that I'm a type 1 diabetic and I don't eat carbs. You see me eat the eggs. My wife will attest that there's days that I'm having 300 carbs in a day. And what it does is it spikes my metabolic rate up. So when you see me or anybody else doing so-called cheat meals, a lot of that is to create the effect of spiking the metabolism if you're running low carb for a while. And it does work if you do it right and you don't overdo it. It'll really kind of help you lose weight. It'll make you more insulin sensitive as well. It's the pup thing. I wish my pup was out here. I'd let you see him. So HMB, we're talking about TRT. We talked about TRT. I should have put that in the title there. We could talk about it a little bit. And you guys are up here. I don't know why they don't show the stream when the video is done. YouTube should create that differently to where all your comments here come down on the video afterwards. That way, when people come watch this video, they can actually see what everybody's talking about here. And like I said, my channel is not, it's more information based. It's more like, hey, look, this is what this does. This is what this can do for you. I'm doing this. I'm not telling anybody to do anything. And I want my channel to be more of a community of everybody kind of like what works for you, because there's so much out there on YouTube that even before I started a channel, like way, way, way back when, I mean, you didn't know what type of information you're getting. And most of the stuff that was out there was there to sell you something or there to drum up something, make somebody be an influencer, and half the stuff didn't work for anybody. I mean, you look at all these ingredients that are out there, some of these fat burners that people are jumping on, and these special ingredients where, oh, they lost so much weight. And I look at the ingredient profiles. I'm like, hell no, you didn't lose weight off of that. You just got a placebo effect. You start eating right. There's no way. So anyways, are pump supplements a total waste of money? No, actually, cellular hypertrophy can actually induce an anabolic response. So, of course, you have cellular hypertrophy and then you have muscle hypertrophy. And now the muscle hypertrophy itself is the sustainable gains that you're going to get. But cellular hypertrophy does induce some anabolic effects that can contribute definitely to your training and your muscle gain. So never shy away from pump ingredients or pump formulas or something that actually allows blood to flow into the muscle to actually induce that, bigger feeling, a cell swelling feeling, because it does help. It does help a lot, especially when you just start training, when you're new to all this stuff, because you're gonna have more. I don't know, Rob. I don't know how long you've been training, but I don't want to say newbies. People that have just started this journey, of course, are going to react better than those of us that have been training for 10 years, I'm at 5 years on up. They're going to react more responsive to the muscle growth from pump formulas, from some of these natural antibiotics like arachidonic acid, PA, laxogenin, stuff like that. Although, I mean, some of them are dependent on the individual as well because of the functions of the ingredients, but it's the response. It's the individual response. That's why I try everything, because everybody's different. What works for me may not work for someone else. So, but making it simple, pump supplements, not a waste of money. Definitely. And I prefer finding a pre-workout that's got a good pump to it, that's going to have some ingredients that actually react differently in the body. So you see a lot of formulas out there that have L-citrulline, and they might have nitrosogene in it, or new level, which, yeah, those combine well together, but they function the same way in the body. So L-citrulline, in my opinion, should be combined with like agmatine, vasodrive AP, because that vasodrive AP is going to actually activate angiotensin, or inhibit angiotensin 1 from turning to angiotensin 2, which is vasorestriction. Then there's all different types of ingredients that initiate the vasodilation response in different ways. So we talked about the imidazoline receptors in one of my videos from agmatine. So, I mean, that's just one thing that activates nitric oxide within the endothelial tissue out of a bunch of different things that can actually expand or relax the blood vessels, however you want to say it. So, yeah, dang, we're talking about a lot of stuff here. Yeah, that Sicario swole liquid pump has been that thing. Hey, Harry, that thing is the bomb. So somebody asked me on YouTube the other day, they just wanted a pump formula. They didn't want any nootropics. I don't blame them. Like, I took that DHMA today. Yeah, did I say that right? I'm still flying. I'm still on this thing where my mind isn't quite there. I don't like the nootropic get really heavy. So basically, he was asking me for just a pump formula. He just wanted some swole gains. I told him to stack the liquid pump with the bloody hell. Man, that would be a good pump combo right there. Definitely be a good pump combo. What brand of HMB are you running? I'm running something cheap. I'm running NutriCost, and it's the HMB-CA. So they don't have the HMB fatty acid form of it, if I said that right, which is supposed to be the better digesting, quicker digesting. It's supposed to respond better in the body, and it's supposed to eliminate quicker from the body. But the studies have been done on both of them, and the studies on both of them have just been kind of all over the place. You know, it's like one of those things where you don't know, because there's so many studies that don't show responses and so many studies that do show responses. So like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm just giving it a chance because of my metabolic condition. So, but it's cheap. I got, I think it was 120 servings from NutriCost on the powder, and $17 for that whole tub. So I'm gonna be taking total of 4.5 grams a day. 1.5 before training, 1.5 after training, and 1.5 before bed. The only thing about the powder, it tastes like leucine. If you've ever tasted leucine, it is the nastiest taste. It's just like this harsh, acidic taste. It's like I tried GBB one time. I had gotten GBB from Unbound Supplements, and it was like a large dose in one pill, like 50 milligrams. And I'm like, I had the cold chills taking that much. Afterwards, I was sweating for hours after training. And so I opened up the pill one day and I took half of it in my mouth, and it was so freaking nasty. but the 25 milligrams of that pill was a lot better. They need to change that. That's too much. They should have just increased the amount and made them 25 milligrams per pill, because that's 50 milligrams of GBP is just stupid insane. It really is. Let's see here. Let's get those thumbs up, guys, on that chat. Thanks, Harry. I appreciate you, man. How did you first know you were diabetic? On the signs, how would I know I am? So the best way to know, Fabian, if you are, is basically taking your blood sugar levels. If you don't have, so the signs. So if you don't have access to a doctor, which a lot of us don't, I had to, and doctors, I had to fight for a month for my doctor to give me insulin. I just got an extra vial of insulin today or yesterday. My wife picked it up, and it wasn't the doctor that allowed me to get insulin. It was the pharmacist being so cool and understanding that doctors sometimes are just a-holes. And anyways, but if you don't have access to a doctor, going off on a tangent, see, I'm still on the DMHA. If you don't have access to a doctor, you can buy a glucose meter and you can check your sugars. And what you want to do is check them fasted. So you want to check them fasted, but then you also want to check them like 2 hours after a meal or an hour after a meal. If you're normal, you should pretty much normalize your sugars an hour to 2 hours after you eat. And normal levels are anywhere between 90 and 120, depending on your age. As we get older, the levels can be higher. So you can be sitting at 120, you can be fine. That's one way to check. The signs of being a type 1 diabetic, this is what I went through. I didn't go see the doctor when it was coming down. I was stressing. Life was crazy for me at the time. And I started to pee a lot. I mean, I was peeing a lot. Now, I drink a lot of water. You can drink a lot of water and you can think you're peeing a lot, but I was peeing a whole lot. And I actually didn't think about going to the doctor until my vision started to go. My vision actually went down to almost nothing, where I had to buy bifocals. I had to go down to this extreme bifocals, like those, those reading glasses that they sell at Walgreens and CVS and stuff like that. I kept, every 3 days I was buying a new pair just so I can drive at work and I can work. And stupid me, I just kept going. I was doing CrossFit at the time, and I even went to a CrossFit session because I was nuts. I was going twice a day wearing these bifocals, and the CrossFit coach goes, "Dave, you need to go to the doctor." And I'm like, I will. And I never did. And then I got to the point, what'll happen if your sugars get too high, you can become dizzy, almost fainting dizzy. So I was off charts. I was 600 and above when I went in, and it got to the point to where I was like a zombie walking around. So emotions were gone. I could move. I was fatigued. I was hopping out of bed, cramping. My feet were cramping all the time. So these are all signs of high sugar levels, pretty much. I'm trying to think of anything else that was going on. Depression, low energy, because when your sugars are high, you think glucose gives you energy. So you would think that, hey, oh, he's got a ton of glucose in him, that he have a ton of energy. The only problem is if you don't have insulin secreting, it's not going to unlock the cell to allow the glucose to come in. So it's just glucose floating around. So what happens is you get a lot of fatigue building up. And it's not the fatigue that you get from sitting at the computer for a long period of time or anything like that. It is this fatigue to where you just feel like crashing. It just really crashes all your energy. So Fabian, those are a few things you can check. Best thing to do though, glucose meter. If you can, it's $12, $15 for most places. Have you tried the Brute EAA? I've been using it. Oh, it's Lexabulk in it, and I felt a difference lately. I like Lexogenin, Harry. Lexogenin actually hits me nice. The best one I've taken, I'll be honest with you, I've taken other ones. I've taken High Tech. I've taken quite a few different ones, but NCN Sups on its own has been the best hit for me. I mean, really, it has. That's just been the best form. I'm sure there's good forms out there, and I'm sure that one, Laxabolt's probably a trademark ingredient, which is going to be, extracted, or water hydrolyzed or extracted, which a lot of these trademarks are doing it now to get that 95+% purity. I use the pump pills from a called nitrate NO3 booster. It's citrulline nitrate. Yeah, along with vitamin B12 and folate, and it works pretty good. Yeah, I'm telling you something. Those nitrates, that's my favorite form. The only problem is, and I'm being honest with you, it's like nitrates have been shown consistently over a period of time to possibly induce carcinogenic effects in the body. So it's not like you can't take nitrates, but you do kind of want to bounce back and forth from different supplements, like run some nitrates for a month, then come off it and find something else, like some agmatine, some L-citrulline, something like that, just in case. But I love the nitrate hit. It's awesome. So that was JJPT 26 says nitrate NO3 booster is the bomb. So for those that are looking for it, have you tried ATP? If so, what's your take on it? So I've tried ATP on its own, and it doesn't seem to metabolize that well. Even in the studies, it says it doesn't. So ATP is a good source of ATP, but it's not ATP. There's peak ATP, I think, and then there's good old creatine, which is super cheap. It's gonna get those phosphates in them. Like I did that review that didn't get a lot of views. It was, I understand, it was on that, not Vintage Muscle, Old School Labs, vintage build. And I mentioned that creatine mono has a twofold function on creating energy production in ATP. So creatine will attach to a phosphate into the cell, and it will donate those phosphates. So if you get a bunch of creatine within your muscle cells, it will, as the ATP is being broken down, it turns into ADP. The creatine will actually donate that phosphate to the ADP and turn it back to ATP. The other function that creatine does is it's a osmolyte. So when it draws water into the cell, it's been shown in studies to actually draw glucose in with it as well. So you're getting a twofold hit, because you get glucose, glycogen within the cell. You're going to be able to produce more ATP at the same time. So some of these ATP ingredients and stuff like that, they're okay, but good old fashioned creatine mono is the best way to go. Just getting into that loading phase and then finding out which way to take it works best for you, because they say you can take it before, you can take it during, or you can take it after. And that's because there's no definitive answer individually on how we uptake creatine, because our bodies all react differently and metabolize these things differently. I mean, there's a widespread 30 to 40% of us might react a certain way, then 20% might react a certain way, and another 20, 30% react another way. And it's the way your body breaks it down, because the body will actually go into a mode where it initiates these second messengers or these secondary functions to literally block creatine from coming into the cell. So if you take creatine at the wrong time, or if you take creatine right now and you are not getting any effects, then it's the wrong time for you. Because I don't believe that there is, because I thought I was for a long time a non-responder to creatine. I believe it's how we take it and how we metabolize, how our body works. And what I found best, Walter, for me taking creatine was right before a workout, and actually during a workout. I get the most benefits. I feel the energy. If I was to take it with my meal before, my meal after, or later on in the day, like they say you can take it any time of the day, I don't get any effects. Like I don't get like the energy boost. I don't get the increased energy in the gym and stuff like that. So I know there's a big response to the timing of taking creatine individually for each person. It's got to be, because like I said, I thought I was a non-responder for so long and found out I wasn't. And I love taking it, but I go off it because of I'm already breaking down muscle, because I'm catabolic all the time. I say I'm catabolic because of my metabolic condition. So I'm breaking down muscle tissue all the time. My body's just doing this all freaking day long. and my creatine kinase is up higher than normal. And that's one reason why I decided to run HMB, because it's supposed to lower that into lactate in the kidneys. So I'm going to see what happens on the response there. But yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm bouncing all over the place. So 40 minutes. I don't want to be like one of those hour and a half lives or anything like that. I want to come on every week. I mean, this is cool discussion. I like the idea of talking about TRT. I may throw that into the title, because not just to get views, but because we were discussing TRT a little bit, and how what I did. I took it for a few years and haven't been on it ever since. And I'm it doesn't say I'm not going to ever say I don't agree with this natty non-natty type thing, but I am not on TRT. I'm not on steroids or anything like that. So it is what it is. We have a venture. We have a journey, and in this game of building muscle, and everybody's going to get to their genetic ceiling. And we're going to try different things. I've tried epiandrosterone. I've tried some of the pro hormones years ago when they were methylated. And I've gone through gaining weight, losing weight. So it's just the idea of it's just that damn journey that we all have to go to. I usually respond in the morning to creatine. I've been taking it to lose water weight since changing my diet and just drinking water. I've been using Molotov. Man, I hate that thing. That's actually, they're sending me, hey, Harry, they're sending me version 2. I think it's version 2. So I'll be doing a review on that thing. That thing had me the cold sweats and sweating all day. But yeah, you'll lose a lot of water weight on that. So, hey, I'm going to let you guys go. If you guys have any ideas on what you want to talk about, because like I said, I want my channel to be more of a community. It's not all about me. I'm crazy enough to run everything, and I've ran a lot of stuff. I've been doing this since I was in my 20s. So I ran a lot of old school stuff. I've been around since stuff came in, since glutamine, micronized glutamine first came in. When glutamine came in, they were supposed to be hot, creatine mono, Crealkaline. I know who made Crealkaline. The initial people who put it together and initial people who put it out. I've tried that, which I think is crap. And arginine nitrate, when that first came out, and before any other nitrates. I've been around for a long time. So, I could talk about a lot of stuff. So I'm just here to help if I can. Other than that, my wife says that's got to be my tagline. Other than that, we'll see you guys next time. No. But I'm going to get going. Let you guys all get going. I'm going to go grab some burgers tonight. It's Sunday. I'm going to have 2, I call them 4x4s. I always ask for a 4x4 without cheese, but I know it's not a 4x4 if you take the cheese off of it. But I'm going to get, what is it called? Double, no cheese with 2 extra patties. 2 of them, protein style though, type 1 diabetic, because after that I'm going to eat some more. So I'm going to let you guys go. I'll see you guys next time. Harry, thanks for showing up. S7 should be a good topic. Yeah. We'll get into that. I'll you know what? I'll start researching that bunk ingredient. No, I'm just playing, man. Thanks for the videos and reviews. Very helpful. Thanks, Amir. Appreciate you guys. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for showing up. And I'll see you guys next time. I'll see you guys later on. How's that? We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night.